Let's be honest, debts are silently killing most Kenyans financially, mentally, and also emotionally. Name it, from the Shyrox, from the mobile apps, from all those digital applications where you borrow your loans and then they have access and they start harassing you. We all know how that goes down. It's a very major concern in most of the Kenyan households, and statistically, a highest percentage of Kenyans are actually borrowing for survival. And today I have decided we discuss about this problem, because if we have to have the financial freedom, we have to really sort the problems that we are actually facing. Hi guys, welcome again to another episode of Financial Literacy. My name is Jane Dishu and I'm a financial advisor. So the first thing I want to discuss is how most of us get into this situation. So one of the ways of getting into these debts is either you don't have enough income, and most of the time you have a lifestyle that you have adopted to. Most of the time it's more of like where you are living, the lifestyle that you're leading, maybe the takeout, the shopping, and even over dependency. We have a lot of black tax. And because we don't want to seem like we don't have the money, we keep on borrowing to be able to support. And then we say, like, next month, things are going to be better. So you're like, I'm going to pay next month. And it piles from one debt to another. And another way we get ourselves there, the moment you borrow from the one application, the interest is so high that you cannot be able to actually pay it off. So the interest drag you back, that you keep on borrowing to pay one app to another app to another app. I have seen situation where a client actually earns 50,000 and they have debts accumulating to almost 70,000. So every month they have to borrow an extra 20,000 from friends. They pay the apps and then they borrow again so that they can be able to live. And this is actually making them to have a lot of burden, because it's going to move from the 70,000 to a maximum of even 200,000, 300,000 because of the interest. The interest in these applications are insane. This is an interest that will keep you going back and going back. That's the whole business of this mobile application. And I know, like, most of the time you might say, but Jane, I am in this situation. How am I able to get out of it? One of the things I have seen, most of the people, like, I'm going to give you an example. I have a client who missed a very big opportunity by having these mobile loans, because every time they see a new number, they're just guessing it's Fuliza, it's Tala, it's the other application. So they never pick it. And then when they got to the job interview, they were following up for the job interview, and then they were asking, I was waiting for your call, and they were told, you know what, we called, you did not pick. And they're like, which contact did you use? And because they were expecting a landline, because it's a company, they missed it because they used the mobile phones. These days, most of the people will use the mobile phones. Let me tell you, it's a problem. And I know even the mental instability that you are facing, or the mental draining, when you are receiving those messages where they are even threatening you, they're even threatening your contacts. At this particular point, they're even accessing your contact, your privacy, so they can be able to even text your boss, they can be able to text your clients if you're in business. And I'm very sure that no one wants the shame. So at this point, you know that I really want to pay these people, I really feel the need to pay. So that fear that you have been instilled in, even if you know that you cannot be able to afford to pay off these debts, you keep on paying them because you're worried and you are afraid of what they are going to do, and you don't want maybe your reputation to go just down like that. Now, the second thing I want us to discuss is, I know at this particular point you're asking yourself, why are Kenyans taking these debts? Why are they still glued into these debts? So one of the reasons is lack of financial education. Let me tell you, in the Kenyan setup, we don't have a system where we can be able to get this financial literacy, and it has been made like so big of a topic that we don't even have systems where we learn about how to manage money. So every time you get an income, you don't know what to do with your income. So most of the time you're just spending because you have the money. You don't know the financial habits that you should be and banking on. You don't actually know about managing your money. You don't know about budgeting. So most of the time you don't know. So this information is actually available, and if the loans are being given to you and you're getting this notification, you actually don't have an idea how to handle that situation. The second thing is that we have normalized digital loans. Let me tell you, at this particular point, if you ask in a group of 10, how many people don't have maybe Fuliza, don't have Mshwari, don't have those Tala and Branch, you're going to only get one person. We have normalized. It's like just a way of life. Like, we don't even feel the need to, or the urge to talk about it. We see like it's an opportunity. Someone was telling me when they're budgeting, they always budget for another 2,000 on top because their Fuliza has another 2,000. So if you ask them their M-Pesa balance, they're even budgeting for that amount of money that they get from these mobile loans. So most of the time you're going to get that. We basically like working on the debt, and we have really normalized working around it. The third thing is we don't have savings. Like, the savings culture in our country is just not good at all. We don't save. We actually don't have a backup plan. So in case of any emergencies, do you know what happens? In case you have maybe financial constraints, in case maybe you have low incomes, in case you have any emergency, what you're going to do, these people are going to be sending you a message and you need money for school fees, so you're going to run to them. These people are going maybe to send you a message. You're going to hear that your neighbor is a Shyrock, they're giving you a loan, you're going to run to them. And that's how we are still staying into it. The other thing is the interest is so high that you keep on borrowing to pay. So most of the time you're going to find that you are not able to get in the shackles of these debts because the interest is so high and you cannot be able to actually be able to fund them and to get out of these debts. The last thing is the pressure to look successful. If there's something that is actually ailing most people, is the urge of setting standards. Like, we have really normalized the art of being in a certain lifestyle, and you already know that you're struggling financially. You already know that you cannot be able to fund that lifestyle. So you actually get into these debts because you need to be seen. You need to attend that event. You need to have a new pair of clothes. You need to actually stock up a fridge or something close to that. You need to take out maybe take out food. You need to take a vacation. And you already know that that is above your income. It's something that you cannot be able to manage. But because you have set that your life look this successful, you have to really be good and you have to actually stay in that lifestyle no matter what. The other thing that you're going to discuss, I know at this particular point you're saying, we have already found ourselves into these debts. We are there already. How do we get out of this situation? So this is the best important part. So one of the things that you need to do is to make sure that you budget. I know when I'm saying about budgeting, you're almost scrolling. You want to scroll because you feel like, but this is something that everybody has been saying. And you're also wondering, like, why am I even budgeting? Because I don't have this income. And where will I even start? Let me tell you, having a budget is actually like the first way of taking control of your finances. So you need to know how much money you spend per month, going to your expenses, this is needs and wants, going to your luxury lifestyle, and also going to your savings and investments. A budget is going to make sure that you're living within your means. You're also making sure that you're having savings and investments so that you have a backup plan. In case of emergencies, you don't have to go back to the debts. The other thing that you can do is to increase on your income. I know at this particular point, most of us find ourselves into this borrowing because we don't have enough source of income. So the moment you realize that the lifestyle that you want cannot be funded by the income that you're having, each time you look for a side hustle, each time you learn a skill, each time that you look at what you can be able to do, you can actually even negotiate for higher pay. You can even negotiate maybe or move jobs, take 2 jobs if it's actually possible. And this is going to give you more income. And this actually translates to that you will actually be able to stay out of the debts. The other thing is actually paying off these debts. At this particular point, you're asking, now, if I have a budget, how am I able to get out of it? So the best starting point is to get to talk to these people that you owe these loans, negotiate with them, tell them that this is the amount of money I can be able to afford to pay for this particular period of time, and then have a payment plan. Let them give you a payment plan how you can be able to get out of it. Do not just default without saying anything, because they're going to harass you and it's going to be a very rough idea for you. And the best thing that you can start with is paying off the small debts and then going up to the bigger debts, because you're going to have the motivation. We call it the snowball. So it's easy for you to actually be able to roll over and actually clear on your debts. So you need to have a plan. You need to have a plan. If you don't have a plan, don't even bother yourself if starting any of the above, because it's going to catch up with you. At some particular point, these people are going to harass you and you're going to find yourself back into these debts because they called your contact list, they called your maybe clients, they called your family. It's becoming a nuisance or scary. So you don't want to get to that point. So make sure that you actually have a plan. The whole point and the best tip that I would give you in this journey is to stay consistent, stay disciplined, and make sure that you start small. Don't just grab everything and you want just to change. Financial habits are developed over time, so you need to be very consistent. And the good thing, you don't have to do this alone. I'm there as a financial advisor to analyze your debts, to make sure that we have a priority list of where we are starting, to have a good working payment plan, and also to have a budget that actually can be able to fix in a payment plan or a debt payment plan. And that's how we are actually able to buy out the freedom. You don't have to do it alone. You can actually work with a financial advisor, and that's the reason I'm here with you. And in case you would want to consider to work with me, make sure you follow me on my Instagram page to book your free discovery call and get started in your debt-free journey. And until next time, thank you.